4 years ago, in Carpenter versus United States, the Supreme Court ruled that the government needs a warrant to access a person's cell phone location history from cellular service providers because of the privacies of life those records can reveal. New records detail Department of Homeland Security purchased and used a vast quantities of cell phone location data. Now, I don't know if you remember, I just told you, the Supreme Court said that's illegal. What says Department of Homeland? What is your government doing anyway? It's been purchasing your information that is illegal for them to get under the Fourth Amendment and confirmed by the Supreme Court. They're just going around it and buying it. Today, the ACLU published thousands of pages of previously unreleased records about how Customs and Border Protection, Immigrant and Custom Enforcement, and other parts of the Department of Homeland Security are sidestepping our Fourth Amendment right against unreasonable government searches and seizures by buying access to and using huge volumes of people's cell phone location information quietly extracted from smartphone apps. The records, which the ACLU obtained over the course of the last year through a Freedom of Information Act, shed new light on the government's ability to obtain our most private information by simply opening the federal wallet. These documents are further proof that Congress needs to pass the Fourth Amendment is Not for Sale Act, which would end law enforcement agencies' practice of buying their way around the Fourth Amendment's warrant. Well, I thought the frickin' Supreme Court already ruled that they can't do that. Why do we need another fucking law?
I have a question.
Yeah, what's your question?
Is the ACLU doing something useful? Are they okay?
Isn't it weird? Isn't it weird? It took a year and a half for Trump to be gone for the ACLU to actually do something.
That seems like really great what they're doing.
Yeah.
I hope no one's sick.
ISIS and the Border Patrol and the CPB's warrantless purchase of access to people's sensitive location information was first reported by the Wall Street Journal in early 2020. After the news broke, we submitted a FOIA request, that's a Freedom of Information request, to the Department of Homeland Security, to ICE, to CPB, and we sued to force the agencies to respond to the request in December 2020. The released records shine a light on the millions of taxpayer dollars the Department of Homeland Security used to buy access to cell phone location information being aggregated and sold by two shadowy data brokers, Ventel and Babel Street. The documents expose those companies and the government's attempts to rationalize this unfettered sale of massive quantities of data in the face of the U.S. Supreme Court precedent protecting similar cell phone location data against warrantless government access. So, and that's 4 years ago. We told you at the top of the thing. That case hinged on a request from one suspect's historical location information over a several-month period. In the documents we received, that means the ACLU, received over the past year, the ACLU found Ventel marketing materials sent to the Department of Homeland Security explaining how the company collects more than 15 billion location points from over 250 million cell phones and other mobile devices every day. Every day. Everyone's cell phone. They are gathering all your location information.
Look out, China. Someone's coming up.
Yeah. With this data, law enforcement can identify devices observed at places of interest and identify repeat visitors, frequented locations, pinpoint known associates, and discover pattern of life, according to a Ventel marketing brochure. The documents belabor how precise and illuminating the data is, allowing pattern of life analysis to identify persons of interest. By searching through this massive trove of location information at their whim, government investigators can identify and track specific individuals or everyone in a particular area, learning details of our private activities and associates. The government should not be allowed to purchase its way around bedrock constitutional protections against unreasonable searches in our private information. Throughout the documents, the cell phone location information is variously characterized as a mere digital exhaust and as containing no PII, meaning personal identifying information.
Why do they want it?
Because it is associated with a cell phone's numerical rather than a name. So
What?
So they're saying that they're collecting the data and they're using the cell phone's numerical identifier and not the cell phone's name. But they could, even though the entire purpose of this data is to be able to identify and track people. They're trying to say they're not doing that, and they are. The records also assert that this data is 100% opt-in. That cell phone users voluntarily share the location information and that it is collected with consent of the app user and permission of the individual. Now, now when you put an app on your phone, you don't know it, but it's tracking you. And then you have to go and make several steps to make sure it doesn't track you. And even after you do that, your phone still tracks you. Even after you do all that shit, even if your phone was turned off, your phone is still tracking you. Even if your SIM card is taken out. Of course, that consent is fiction. So they're saying that the person is giving consent. That's what the government is saying. And the ACLU is saying, no, they're not. Many cell phone users don't realize how many apps on their phones are collecting GPS information and certainly don't expect that data to be sold to the government in bulk. The volume of people's sensitive location information obtained by the agency is staggering. The 6,168 pages of location records the ACLU reviewed contain approximately 336,000 location points obtained from people's phones. For one 3-day span in 2018, the records contained around 113,654 location points, more than 26 location points per minute. And the data appears to come from just one area in the southwestern United States, meaning it is just a small subset of the total volume of people's location information available to the agency. Department of Homeland Security still owes us more documents, meaning the ACLU, but whatever they show, it is already abundantly clear that law enforcement's practice of buying its way around the core protections of the Fourth Amendment must stop. The principle here is simple. The government should not be allowed to purchase its way around bedrock constitutional protections against unreasonable searches and searches of our private information. There is no end run around the Fourth Amendment allowed. And here's a Republican congressman, and here's what he's saying.
Just yesterday, the American Civil Liberties Union released thousands of pages of data showing that Department of Homeland Security agencies are paying millions of dollars to data brokers, one of which claims to collect more than 15 billion, that's with a B, location points from over 250 million mobile devices every day. The Department of Defense, for example, has used this tactic to access data from a dating app, Muslim Mingle. Imagine this government agency managed to compromise the Fourth Amendment and degrade the First Amendment, right to free exercise of religion, in just one move. In February, Senators Wyden and Heinrich revealed that the CIA is engaged in bulk collection based not on a statutory authority, but on Executive Order 12333, entirely outside of any judicial or statutory
Whose
authority.
order is that?
This strongly suggests legal acrobatics similar to DOD's are at play at the CIA. Under current law, the government cannot obtain records from companies like Facebook and Google without a court order. Why should data brokers be treated any differently? The obscurity of the loophole the government is exploiting underscore how shaky its legal foundation is. The solution is, I suggest, the Fourth Amendment is not for sale act. This bill would close the loopholes in the law. It would forbid government agencies from buying personal data. It would otherwise need a warrant or subpoena to obtain.
So there you go. But a lot of people like to say this, Kurt. Okay, I don't have anything to hide. Go ahead. If it stops a bad guy, cool. If they want to know where my wife and I decide to go for dinner, just don't beat us there to get the last table. Ha ha ha.
They want to track if she wants to get an illegal abortion so she can be put in jail.
Yeah,
moron.
Yeah, that's what they.
Absolute idiot.
I'm
getting too angry about being on this show, Jimmy.
I love what this guy says. This is exactly the person you don't want on your side, at your side when things get real.
Yep, and they got the nerve to call themselves allies. These kind of people I would never want to be in a war with.
This guy was very nice. He says, you make a fair point, but the point is not really having something to hide or not. The point is that the FBI decided on their own that you don't deserve basic human rights, which is a way bigger issue than you may think.
I like to think, Jimmy, that right now at the Pentagon in some deep basement, there's like a general, like a 5-star general, and there's this big screen. He's like, put it up on the big screen. It's just a picture of my dick that he got from an iPhone 3 or something from a few years ago. And he's like, my God, get me the president. He gets a pick of a red phone.
The U.S. was not founded on sacrificing our freedoms for security. If you want that, move to another country. Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety, said Ben Franklin.
Hey, they want to track. If you want to find a bad guy, cool. They want to watch me and my wife engage in cock and ball torture, whatever. I mean, I'm good.
Arguing that you don't care about the right to privacy because you have nothing to hide is no different than saying you don't care about freedom of speech because you don't have anything to say. Bam. It's not about whether you feel okay with the government ignoring your Fourth Amendment rights. They're not allowed to. If some law was created that goes against the Constitution, it's illegal. You bowing to government overreach is irrelevant.
Do you think that was a sincere tweet from that guy who first said that and not one of them, 60,000 Twitter troops that says dumb things like that to get an argument going?
You think that's what it was? I don't know.
I doubt everything now, man.
I like what this guy says. What is a bad guy? Because Putin considers anti-war protesters as bad guys. China considers pro-Taiwan independence believers as bad guys. Will you agree to be out on some private list because of your legal but unpopular opinions by the FBI? I like this is my favorite. You actually think they're interested in stopping bad guys? They are the bad guys. Sacramento, back here in Los Angeles, Bakersfield, Indianapolis, Louisville, Cincinnati, Tulsa, Oklahoma City. Go to jimmydorcomedy.com for a link for all the tickets for all our shows.